Hello, thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguale. President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the renewed terrorist killings in Kaduna State, saying that the gruesome nature of recent incidents in Jigawa local government area has made him particularly sad and that the killings are unacceptable. A statement from the presidency says bandits within the week have also killed citizens in Zangun Kataf, Chikung, Birnungwari, Igabi and Kauru local government areas of Kaduna State. President Buhari affirmed that security forces have turned the heat on the terrorists who are looting assets, burning homes and killing indiscriminately. He reiterated his directive to the security and intelligence chiefs to do everything they can to destroy the remnants of the terrorists in the country. The president also expressed the nation's condolences to the government of Kaduna State, the people of Zongwa Chiefdom, and the family of His Highness Nuhu Baturi, the Angwam Kaju, on his demise. He prayed for the repose of the souls of the deceased. Northern Governors Forum has commended operations of the Nigerian Armed Forces in the onslaught of terrorist groups in different parts of the country. A statement issued by the forum chairman and governor of Plateau State, Simon Bakola Long, appreciates Nigerian troops in dislodging enclaves of Boko Haram and bandits in northeast and northwest states of the country. Northern Governors Forum urged the Nigerian Armed Forces to sustain the onslaught against the violent criminals and commiserated with victims and relatives of the nefarious acts. A group of elder statesmen under the aegis of I Believe in Nigeria project has joined Nigerians to celebrate President Muhammadu Buhari as he clocked 79 years. The group enumerated Buhari's achievements so far and his enduring attributes of discipline and honesty. Salihu Guanara reports.
Celebrating the 79th birthday of President Muhammadu Buhari gave these eminent Nigerians an opportunity to highlight the role of the president in keeping Nigeria united as he prioritized infrastructural development as key in ensuring social security. Mike Oluwale, chairman I Believe in Nigeria project, and the former Inspector General of Police, Mike Okiru, said despite the country's challenges, Nigeria remains great, developing exponentially in all ramifications. They urged all those in positions of authority to be vanguards of good governance in line with the government's development agenda.
Is to get the right people at the right place to make sure they do the right job. It cannot be everywhere in Nigeria, but putting the right people to make sure they do the right job and giving the feedback.
Yeah, my message to President that, Baba, keep it up. Nigerians are happy for you.
The event featured the launch of the magazine with the cover name, This is Nigeria, the symbolic cutting of a birthday cake, and the presentation of a portrait of the president. In Abuja, Salihu Guanara, NTA News.
The federal government is working assiduously to give a new lease of life through its sustainable strategic plan of return, resettlement and local integration of the internally displaced persons across the country. Federal Commissioner and National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, stated this commitment are the flag-off of another round of food and household items distribution to IDPs in Niger State. Fatim Aliyu reports.
In furtherance to responding to the plight of the internally displaced persons in the country, the federal government flagged off another phase of distribution of food and other items to IDPs in Niger State to cushion the effects of hardship of the vulnerables. The palliative distributed includes rice, other varieties of grains and assorted foods, as well as household and kitchen items necessary for those at the camps. Representative of the Federal Commissioner, National Commission, Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons says the sustainable strategic plan of the federal government, through collaborative efforts with other sister agencies, is already yielding positive results. This is for the construction of 100,000 units each in Borno and Katsina states as a pilot scheme which will be replicated in the trouble zone states across the country.
The Commission is making effort across the country to resettle our persons of concern. We've handed over formally to the IDPs directly, and the camp manager is to oversee and make sure it's used judiciously.
We only have few food left. So coming of this National Refugees Commission with assistance today is something that I should be happy.
The items are expected to be distributed to other internally displaced persons camps in Niger State. Fatima Ali, NTA News.
Minister of State Environment Sharon Ikazo says the ministry is recovering crude from the spill at the Santa Barbara well in Nembe, Bayelsa State. Alongside remedial response at a site the federal government she threatened will go tough on anyone found responsible for the spillage. Let's hear more from Onenge Fineface.
A long ride from Opunembe Basambri into the Santa Barbara, ending with an unsavory revelation: 2 wellheads and the remnant of crude they spilled into the Santa on November 5, 2021. The spill long contained more than 16,000 barrels of crude recovered. The site is now set for remediation.
Whatever was lost to the environment is certainly less than what was recovered. And the reason is simple. There were brooms already put in place, and then this is a very calm water. If the water had been the turbulent type, recovery would be very minimal and a lot will escape. But this is a very calm water, so it was possible to boom and recover as much as possible.
But the environment bears the scar of pollution, and the federal government insists that justice must be done.
I'm very, very saddened that I have to find a way out of this situation, a permanent way out of it. Apart from such oil spills, we still have the issue of the artisanal refining, degrading the environment further. So all this has to end. We need to have more engagement, review our NOSRA law for stiffer penalties for everyone, not just the oil companies.
Joint investigation is ongoing, the outcome of which will determine how the pendulum of justice swings. In Membe Basangwe, Onengiye Fineface, NT News.
Understanding the true meaning of celebrating Christmas as that which brings good things, joy and salvation to mankind took center stage at the 2021 Festival of Praise. Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo was among special guests thrilled by national and international bands, choirs and artists. Let's hear the details from Joseph Ortson.
Delightful songs of praise and display of masterpiece of musical arts, with Walter Michael Volhet from Germany conducting. The unconcealing joy of the congregation is obvious as these flutes and trumpets take their act to other levels. Apostle Joshua Selman is the guest speaker of the event. He centers his message on understanding the essence of Christmas.
That the joy is not in the arrival of a baby. The joy is in the fact that that baby is Savior.
For many, it is a spiritual upliftment and a show of advancement in Nigeria's musical industry.
It was like heaven come down on earth.
We experienced some people from Turkey, from Germany. It was awesome.
They've been practicing for nearly 6 months or so, and then bringing all these experts to have this kind of top-class performance. We would like to go, if not every state, maybe zones.
This is the 14th edition of the festival, and this year's theme is Glory to God in the Highest. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
A bit of education here as a way of rewarding staff dedication to duty and thank God for the end of another year. The Federal Ministry of Education organized a carol of 9 lessons to celebrate the Christmas season. Besides the heavenly rendition that created relaxation for staff, the sermon enjoined them to be godly in virtues and remain committed in the service of the nation.
As we move into the new year, our prayer is that love will radiate across this country, that we shall all see each other from every part of the country, from every denomination of faith as brothers and sisters, and that we shall all work collectively as a country to ensure that the lost days of our glory shall be restored.
We want us to be more committed and dedicated. I pray that the Lord will help every one of us to give in the best, because education is key to the existence and the transformation of Nigeria.
Let's turn to the judiciary. The Supreme Court has set aside the conviction of a senior advocate of Nigeria, Dr. Joseph Nwobike, SAN. He was sentenced to 1 month imprisonment by Lagos State High Court for perversion of justice in April 2019. However, the Justice Kayode Ariwola-led panel of Supreme Court justices upheld Nwobike's appeal against his conviction, ruling that the administration of criminal justice law of Lagos State did not clearly indicate what constitutes perversion of justice, neither does the EFCC, which prosecuted him, have such powers. The Federal High Court in Abuja has nullified Senator Andy Uba's participation in the November 6th Anambra State governorship election. Justice Iyang Eko of the Federal High Court judgment held that Andy Uba was never a candidate in the election, having emerged from an illegally conducted primary election by the All Progressives Congress. The court also held that the plaintiff, George Mogalu, succeeded in proving that the APC did not conduct a valid primary election from which Uba claimed to have emerged as the party's candidate. The court ordered INEC to delete Uba from its record as a candidate in the election. APC was also ordered to refund the plaintiff the sum of 22.5 million naira he paid for expression of interest and nomination forms since the party failed to conduct a valid primary. The Chairman House of Representatives Committee on Customs, Leke Abejide, says the recent recruitment by the Nigerian Customs Service enabled engagement of 4 persons each from the 774 local government areas in the country. Addressing the press on the recruitment exercise, the lawmaker added what the NCS did was not a general recruitment, but to fill existing vacancies of certain cadre.
If you see the recruitment is very small because of the payment. The 7% collection they are currently getting from the duties they collect on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria cannot even pay the salaries of the officers. The president in his magnanimity has to approve 60% of the 1% CISS, Comprehensive Post-Provision Scheme, for them to be able to implement their salaries and also do some infrastructures.
The Nigerian Customs Service, he says, requires 30,000 personnel to effectively discharge functions, but currently has 15,000. This, he emphasized, is among reasons the National Assembly is initiating reforms by amending the Customs Act. We're heading to Lagos now to join Adiola. She's going to pick up from there for more reports.
Thank you, Ruth. The different inclinations and values that bind the diverse heritage as Nigerians was brought to the fore in a command performance of strings by the National Troupe of Nigeria. The folk musical drama at the Terra Culture recounts the amalgamation of Nigeria in 1914. The folk musical drama draws a strength from the rich and seamless admixture of storytelling, folk songs, dance, music, and performance in African festive and theatrical traditions. Strings unveils Nigeria as a symbolic baby and foster child of Frederick and Flora Lugard, freshly birthed and named in 1914, whose ancestry and genetics are traceable to all the ethnic groups. The baby attained maturity in 1960 and, like every normal child, has to contend with all the challenges of adulthood and middle age. Prior to this discovery, there were doubts, suspicions, complications, conflicts, climax and resolutions among the different clans and their clan heads.
He who brings us infested firewood home in 5 meters for a fix.
At every given instance, show Nigerians the path to glory through dance, music, drama, and other performative arts.
It's a dramatic narrative of Nigerian society, essentially our history as a nation, the beginning, the foundation.
This production and playing Lord Lugard made me go back to research and know who he was and how instrumental he was in bringing together Nigeria.
Playing Flora Shaw is learning so many things that I never knew. You know, I've always wondered, where did they get this name, Nigeria? And this is history.
Director General, Nigerian Television Authority NTA represented, speaks on the relevance of this folk drama.
Unity is very, very important. The more we are united as a front, the better for us.
Strings finds relevance at this point of a country's socio-political experience. Reducing gender-based violence and harassment to the barest minimum requires the collaboration of government in ratifying and domesticating the International Labour Organization Convention C-190. These were the views of stakeholders in Lagos. Amaka Owo reports.
The judiciary is said to be the last hope of the common man, and the Association of Female Lawyers and other associations are supporting the fight against gender-based violence and harassment.
The role of FIDA is to see that competent lawyers who deal with litigation practically, take up this matter to the courts.
Stakeholders say as part of efforts to protect the vulnerable, a team of task force were trained to fast-track the naming and shaming of culprits, and this, they say, have yielded results, especially in the Mile 12 area of Lagos State.
One case is a guy with 37 years old. He raped a girl of 13 years, and we got him, we prosecuted him to the court, and now the guy was inside the correctional center right now.
Any victim should, speak out. Once you speak out, go to the appropriate place where you feel that people can, lend a voice and support the cause.
Stakeholders affirm that gender-based violence and harassment remains a menace to society. Most worrisome is the defilement of minors, which comes with physical and psychological trauma, but can be stamped out through concerted efforts to protect the vulnerable and ensure culprits face the full wrath of the law. In Lagos, Samaka O, NTA News.
And that's it from Lagos. We'll be taking our first break, and when we return from that break, Amina in Kaduna will be giving us stories from that zone. To stay with us.
We will continue to provide dedicated leadership in the fight against terrorism and other forms of crimes by taking the war to the criminal's den. The report.
The Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, stated this during the final exercise and graduation of a special training for personnel tag Exercise Restore Hope, held at the Nigerian Army Base Camp Kachia, Kaduna State. The Army Chief appreciates the strategic guidance and support of President Muhammadu Buhari to the Nigerian Armed Forces, saying the Army will strive harder to free the country of criminals terrorizing the people.
And we hope and we are confident that the injection of this troop and others that we have trained, like those that graduated yesterday or Saturday in Kwantagora and others across, will continue to improve on our operation.
Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya acknowledges the gallant achievement of the armed forces deployed to the theater of operations, assuring Nigerians that peace will soon be restored to areas challenged by attacks. There are concerns over increasing rate of rape cases in Jigawa State despite the recent passage of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law. To win this war, stakeholders say the issue of drug abuse must also be pursued vigorously. Ibrahim Bello reports.
Challenges that remains a source of concern to the public is the issue of incessant rape cases affecting not only female of sexual age, but also the underage children among other victims of rape. Concerned with this challenge, the Jigawa State House of Assembly got the assent of the state executive arm by establishing the laws that will ensure serious punitive measures against perpetrators of rape.
The government needs to tackle the issues of drugs.
These things happen majorly because of ignorance, sometimes because of poverty, some because of some traditional practices and beliefs, and it's really heart-touching.
Recently, a judgment was passed against two people in Birnin Kudu and Hadeja who were found guilty of the crime. Even though they say a stitch in time saves 9, to some concerned stakeholders, finding the root cause of rape will complement the effort and reduce exposing the victims from contacting sexually transmitted diseases among other psychological imbalances affecting the victims.
What we are encouraging victims to do is to ensure that if the person is minor, then they should seek for redress in terms of the criminal violation that was made on them, and that is rape.
They say parents, guardians, and relatives among other stakeholders have a role to play in protecting children and women from being trapped as victims of rape. From Duse, Ibrahim Bello, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Amina. As Nigeria and Turkey commit to further deepen development relations, the need to seize the moment with focused, defined strategies have resonated. Guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, who applauded federal government's investment drive, are optimistic of mutual benefits for both countries. Lydia Sampson reports.
With a 5-year action plan already in place between Nigeria and Turkey, as well as a legal framework for strategic development engagements, the guests say capturing more undocumented businesses is critical. These, they say, can only blossom in a secure environment. It is in the light of this that President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to Turkey places emphasis on security.
It's a strong relationship, and yes, as I said earlier, even the global appreciation of Turkey, the respect that Turkey has generated for itself militarily, is something that is coming to the awareness of the world. We are learning also. We want to learn from them.
Resilience is one of the things we must learn from Turkey. Resilience, and then the resilience is based on the fact that every Turkish citizen supports the government of Turkey. So we need that for the country to be resilient. There's absolute need for unity in order for the country to achieve its full potential.
He gave an assurance that government is marching words with action with the creation of Project Monitoring Unit in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to translate MOUs to reality. Though previous memorandum of understanding signed by the two countries will be continuously fine-tuned going forward, the guests are of the opinion that with the mutual respect from both parties, the low-hanging fruits already accruing will be a game changer.
Turkey was given observer status at the EU because of their commitment since 1998.
Lydia Sampson there reporting. Students of tertiary institutions across the country may soon have information and communications technology academies in their respective schools, where they will obtain digital literacy and other technological skills. This is the outcome of a collaboration between the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Pantami, and a technology company designed to develop local content through various training programs. Let's get the details from ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson.
Shonibare and Shalom are both students of Ahmadu Bello University who are top winners in Network and Cloud ICT Competition 2021. The duo and their colleagues have come here to claim their awards, where the federal government, through the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, expressed optimism that the Nigeria ICT Talent Development Cooperation MOU between the ministry and the executing technology company will further fast-track the development of the digital economy.
Part of the MOU, a minimum of 30,000 students are going to be trained on skills, and also we are going to establish around 300 centers in our universities, polytechnics and colleges of education, where our students will be able to get the skills required to face of the challenges of our labor market, particularly internationally, not only in Nigeria.
The goal is to provide students with a rich and diverse platform to improve their ICT knowledge, practice, and application skills.
I'm a student, so learning these skills has helped me to understand the underlying technology of how this thing works.
Actually made us at least we could be able to start our feet and provide enterprise network solutions to companies and even self-employ ourselves.
If the plan of establishing ICT Academy in tertiary institutions is eventually implemented, more digital geniuses like Shonibare and Shalom are expected to emerge to cater for the needs of telecommunications industry, government workforce, and indeed achieving Nigeria's digital quest. Joe Johnson, NTA News.
70 million unique national identification numbers have now been issued to Nigerians and legal residents of the National Identity Management Commission. A statement by Kayode Adegoke, Head of Corporate Communications, Director General, Nimsi Aliyu Aziz, says the feat is attributed to the immeasurable contributions of President Muhammadu Buhari, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, and other critical stakeholders in the identity sector. With 15 million users downloading the recently launched NIMSI mobile app, which allows users to digitally verify their NINs, link their NINs to SIM, and print the improved NIN slip from the comfort of their homes and offices. NIMSI promises to build a positive brand and continue to explore ways to improve and efficiently offer excellent identity services to all and sundry. The Cross River State Government wants the World Bank Federal Government Task Team on Agro-Processing Productivity Enhancement and Livelihood Improvement Support Project to ensure adequate implementation of its projects in the state. Deputy Governor of the state, Professor Ivara Esu, stated this while declaring open the World Bank Federal Government Joint 7th Implementation Support Mission in Calabar. Let's hear more from Paul Abel.
Decrying the wanton destruction of property by the NSAS protests last year on Appeals Facility, Deputy Governor Professor Ivara Esu says the state has demonstrated capacity with the provision of agro-industries to enable farmers supply raw materials, and this will aid the implementation of the project in the state.
Promoting the well-being of the small and medium-scale farmers. Do we lack capacity for people to carry on these jobs? Please, tell us. We want this project to be sustainable.
The key players debunked their visit based on fault finding, but to ensure smooth implementation of the appeals project in the state.
We have and the must give account for how we improving the life of our beneficiaries. I will change the situation and the work it says.
The Deputy Governor also inaugurated the renovated facility of the appeals project. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Empowerment and job creation for self-reliance is one of the cardinal objectives of the federal government. Participants at an awareness and self-realization program in Imo State are of the view that the benefits of such efforts to tackle unemployment will be better harnessed if more opportunities trickle down to the rural communities. Chuma Nwankwere reports.
Unemployment has over the years remained a major challenge to governments at various levels and has necessitated the rollout of several programs by the federal government to tackle it. In view of the need to ensure that those at the grassroots maximize these opportunities, indigents of Imo State from Isialambano, Onimo, Okigwe Federal Constituency are at this economic summit organized by the member representing the area in the National Assembly to be educated on how best to explore their potentials and be less dependent on the government.
We are here for training. She brought so many branches of people that will give us training to make us grow in whatever we are doing.
Member representing Isialambano, Onimo, Okigwe Federal Constituency, Miriam Onoha, affirms that going by the global economic situation, Nigerians must begin to look beyond the government for job creation, but take advantage of incentives already put in place to drive the economy.
At this summit, there is one product or service for everyone. And for the teeming youth who have come here, I think they are attracted by the online digital trading platform.
Representative of the Imo State Governor and others described the empowerment initiative as laudable. The empowerment program, which had participation of the Corporate Affairs Commission, SMEDAN, among others, is expected to make the people more enterprising and financially stable. Inaware, Chuma Nwankwere, NTA News.
All right, we're going to break now. When we return, we'll be joining Just where Zenret will be waiting for us there.
Thanks for staying with us. Hello and welcome to Just. Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Tallen, has donated food items and 40,000 gas cylinders to rural women and vulnerable groups in 4 local government areas of Plateau State to alleviate their plight. Red Sylvanus Lot reports.
Following President Muhammadu Buhari's policy to alleviate poverty in the country, these cylinders, food items, toiletries and beverages are to reduce the hardship being faced, especially in rural areas. Handing over the items to women, religious and vulnerable group representatives, the Minister for Women Affairs says the cylinders are to promote the campaign for climate change and an extension of President Buhari's love for the masses.
These are women or organizations that care for the vulnerable, the less privileged. I urge all men and women of Plateau to put prayer first. We must pray for our country, we must pray for the unity of this country, we must pray for our president, our governors, and all those in position of authority.
Representative of the General Officer Commanding 3DIV, Rukuba, commended the Minister for touching lives. Representative of the 4 local governments appreciated the gesture, saying it will impact more on people's lives. The benefiting local governments include Jos East, Jos North, Pangshin, and Shandam. In Jos, Red Sylvanus Lot, NTA News.
To cater for the health needs of its students, staff, and host community, the Nigeria Think Corporation has laid the foundation for a community health center at its permanent site in Nook Peace, Jos North local government area. Felicia Dali of Somalia has details.
Established with the mandate of planning, promoting, organizing, and coordinating development of the Nigerian motion picture industry, the Nigerian Film Corporation is not only concerned with the educational needs of its students, but also their health and well-being. This necessitated the foundation laying for a befitting health center at its permanent site.
The project, NFC says, is part of federal government's intervention on quality education.
We are going to have adequate staffing of professionals who will be manning this center. The federal government has appropriated and the money has been fully released. And so we expect that in the next 3-4 months, the architect will deliver this hospital fully equipped, fully constructed for the benefit of staffs, students, and community in this Niquis area of Plateau State.
It's going to have the first aid clinic, the outpatient department, the ward for primary health care, as well as referrals that will be taken to a bigger hospital eventually.
When completed, the community health center will also serve the public. In Jos, NTA News.
And that's our contribution to Nationwide. It's back to Ruth for more reports on Nationwide.
Very much, Zenret. In his avowed commitment to stamp out crimes and make Akwa Ibom State crime-free, Governor Udom Emmanuel has presented 10 patrol vehicles to Akwa Ibom State Police Command. Susan Asukwa reports that the vehicles were received by the Commissioner of Police, Akwa Ibom State.
Due to the influx of people to Akwa Ibom State, as is often the case, especially at festive seasons as this, there is always an increase in the rate of crimes and other criminal activities. To stem the activities of criminals in the state, Governor Udom Emmanuel has again energized the Nigerian police force as 10 patrol vehicles have been donated to the State Police Command. Fully equipped with state-of-the-art communication gadgets, the governor expresses the hope that criminal activities and criminal element will be shown the way out of the state. Residents of the state are therefore advised to desist from activities that are inimical to the peace and development of the state.
We are out of the task. We encourage you to just do at the best. Let people just dwell in safety. Let people just carry on their businesses also in safety.
The vehicles the Commissioner of Police Akwa Ibom State Command, Andrew Amiangamen, admits is a booster, assuring that it will enable officers and men of the command to put in their best to protect lives and property in the state. It will be recalled that Governor Udom Emmanuel had donated 30 patrol vehicles to the command sometime last year. In Uyo, Susan Asukwa, NTA News.
The core working group on human capital development set up by the National Economic Council is to develop a vision that will drive the program towards achieving healthy, productive and educated citizenry by the year 2030. Working to get the 36 states aligned with this vision, the team led by the coordinator, Yoshola Akimbi, was in Enugu where they interacted with the state working group on how to deepen the program. Let's hear more from Susan Eze.
Planned out in 2 phases. The first phase of the Human Capital Development Program entails developing a framework through which Nigeria can transit into a healthy, productive, and educated nation by the year 2030, working closely with the 3 thematic ministries: health, education, and labor. The second phase has the objective of engaging state governments to ensure prioritization of human capital development in their investments.
We must have a robust monitoring and evaluation framework that helps us to track this progress across the 36 states and also the federal.
What we're trying to do with this NTA program is to bring all of these things together and to see how they can all significantly contribute towards improving human development indices of Nigeria.
Intimating the national team on the Enugu State Homegrown Action Plan, in line with the National Human Capital Development Program, the State Chairman of the Council and Deputy Governor of Enugu State, Cecilia Ezilu, and the State Focal Person, Chibuzo Kafo, disclosed that certain areas of the plan are already incorporated into the state budget, while others are being streamlined.
We strongly desire to play a very active role in the present national crusade to lift Nigeria very high in the Global Human Capital Development Index.
The wider stakeholder forum was interactive and members were enjoined to key into the program mantra, #PushHCD results. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
Commuters have been assured of a seamless flow of traffic during the youth out. The Court Marshal, Boboye Oyemi, that's of the FRC, gave the assurance during the yearly joint press briefing with Delta State Governor Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa towards ensuring free flow of traffic during the festive period. Tessie Koka reports.
Before now, road users have continued to experience gridlock at the bridgehead, especially during the Yuletide. This has made many in the past spend their Christmas at the bridgehead in a bid to access the gateway to the southeast.
We personally coordinated all the stakeholders involved to ensure that the road users, the commuters, don't sleep on the road and they are each free.
Governor Okowa is pleased with the result by the Road Safety Corps to ensure flawless commuting this season. For him, Delta State will continue to do its best in assisting the Federal Road Safety Corps to achieve free flow of traffic during and after the season.
The bridge itself is a very problematic place, and realizing this over the years, we have always cooperated with the Federal Road Safety Corps to ensure that we have a free flow of traffic.
With the collaboration between the Delta State government and the Federal Road Safety Corps to ensure free flow of traffic during the Yuletide, especially at the bridgehead, it is expected that Deltas will have a hitch-free Christmas celebration in Asaba. Tessie Koka, NTA News.
Motorists plying Old Kano to Kari to Maiduguri Road can now heave a deep sigh of relief. Now, this followed the temporary road created at the Samia Bridge bordering Jigawa and Kano states closed to traffic about 3 months ago. A visit to the area this morning by our correspondent shows enthused motorists mostly from far northeastern states plying the temporary road to link up to their destinations instead of the longer route through Duse, the Jigawa state capital. Meanwhile, contractor to execute the repairs of the faulty bridge has started mobilizing to site, an indication that the work will commence soon. Efforts to get confirmation of the Federal Ministry of Works on the repairs were not successful. Let's bring you an update on COVID-19. Nigeria Center for Disease Control has confirmed 404 new cases of the virus in Nigeria. Oyo we hear has 122, FCT 84, Lagos 52, Kaduna 51, Imo 20, Delta 18, Kano 17, Kwara 16, Rivers 11, Enugu 10, Ogun 2 and Edo 1. Total confirmed cases now stands at 223,887 with 211,537 discharged and 2,985 deaths recorded. Kano State government, we hear, is working towards ensuring total coverage in its vaccination campaign against COVID-19. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje stated this during the flag-off of statewide mass vaccination exercise to break the chain of transmission of the viral infection. Abdullahi Mustafa will tell us more.
At the initial stage, Kano was among states with high caseload of COVID-19 in Nigeria. However, it later got the pandemic curve flattened with the adoption of various containment measures. This was followed by vaccination of targeted groups, including healthcare workers, security agents, and civil servants. To ensure total coverage, the State Technical Response Team is embarking on mass vaccination exercise as flagged off by Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje.
We have graduated from targeted population and groups. Now we are exploring mass vaccination for all ages in order to protect the people of Kano State.
Also flagged off by the governor is access to care under the Basic Health Care Provision Fund. It aims to ensure the provision of minimum requirements of personnel, consumables, and physical maintenance of facilities. This is to enhance healthcare services across the 44 local government areas of the state. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The achievement of Governor Gboyega Oyetola in the health sector has received accolades from the World Health Organization. The commendation was given by the country representative in Nigeria, Dr. Walter Kazadi, during a courtesy visit to the governor in Oshogbo. Bola G. Akim report.
Before now, Osun government has all the primary health centers in the state rehabilitated and made functional. The government in its 2022 budget had also allocated 80% of its state budget to the health sector for the well-being of the people. In recognition of these achievements, the World Health Organization, through its country representatives in Nigeria, Dr. Walter Kazadi, said the state has performed remarkably well in health sector. According to the World Health Body, Osun is among the top 10 states in the Federation with the highest number of people who have received COVID-19 vaccination.
Osun State is among the states that has moved neglected tropical diseases toward the last mile and is just awaiting pre-transmission assessment survey to confirm the free status. That one itself is also commendable.
The governor, who appreciated WHO for the recognition, promised to sustain the tempo.
The state is also recording decline in the rate of maternal and infant mortalities. All this concerted effort in the state health sector are already yielding fruit, especially considering that confidence in the public health facilities in the state has been largely restored.
WHO and the state governments agreed to maintain mutual relationship so as to improve on the state health records. In Osogbo, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
The Nigerian Navy Eastern Naval Command has arrested 25 vessels involved in illegal bunkering. They activated 117 illegal refineries and evacuated over 38,000 liters of illegally refined automotive gas oil, among other achievements this year. Flag Officer Commanding Eastern Naval Command Rear Admiral Sanusi Ibrahim disclosed this during the command's 2021 end-of-the-year ceremonial sunset. Calvin Samuel reports.
The ceremonial sunset, which is usually a combination of the ancient ceremony of British retreat, tattoo, and lowering of national flag, is a symbolic event of the Navy practiced annually since the 18th century to mark the end of all activities of the year. It is a period for sober reflections where the dead and the living are remembered for their various contributions and services to their fatherland. The day also helped in fostering harmonious relationship between the Navy and other sister agencies. Declaring the event open, the Flag Officer Commanding Eastern Naval Command, where Admiral Sanusi Ibrahim says the command has done well in minimizing maritime crimes in the region and pledged its readiness to do all it takes to sustain the tempo.
The command also sustained effective patrol of its area of responsibility, as well as undertook several clearance and swamp body operations in the backwaters. These operations resulted in considerable reduction of piracy in Nigeria's maritime domain. Occasions like this will assist you in appreciating what makes the naval profession so unique from other careers. It will also re-emphasize one of the key ingredients necessary in building the cohesive relationship on which the military thrives.
The event featured fireworks, lowering of national flag, as well as cultural displays. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
All right, let's bring you sports update.